let there be light, there was light. God did what next? Before that. He saw the light that what?
It was good.
So, I want you to think about that for a second. Because he was giving value to it, right? Good is a value statement. Right? When you say that's a good hammer or that's a bad hammer, you are giving a value judgment on something. Good hammer means it does what it's supposed to, and it's bad? No. Now God, the creator of life, said, this is good. So he is, from that we can say he's value giving. Notice the picture of God that's coming through, necessary for these people. If we really listen, we see a picture of God appearing. So, he says good. So how does God view creation? Eventually, very good. But why does he view it as good? Yeah, that's too simple. It's true, but why?
Well, I was getting ready to say that it also corrects, it addresses all the issues. What's the word? I'll come back.
Okay. So, why does he see it as good?
Because it fits together?
Well, it's not complete yet, but
Because it all works together?
for what?
For life.
So, what does God value?
Life.
You can see it from what he's doing. Everything he's about is life. He's life giver. Right? Where we have that, right? Life giver, life giver. So when you say, this God that we're seeing do all this, what is he about?
Life.
He is about life. He is the God of life. He is the originator of life. He is the sustainer of life. And when it says he saw the light that it was good, what does the word saw there mean?
Completed. Well, it's completed. That particular phase.
Completed, but what does it mean when he says God saw the light that it was
He
good?
evaluated it.
He evaluated it, and so what does the word see mean there?
It's completed.
No.
Assess it.
He
Assess it.
assesses it. That is, God, the way that God perceives it, is that it's good, and you ask the question, why? Because it's about life, and God is about life. And so God values life. In fact, how much of this that he is doing is about life? So it seems like everything God is doing is consumed with life. This is important because he is not the author of death. There's a lie out there that says he is. And that's coming.
So, I'm just wondering, so if he is the creator of life, right? He is life. Is it like he's looking at himself? Like he's looking at a reflection of himself? He's looking at life, so he's like, oh, this is good. Because he's reflecting him. You understand what I'm saying? Like everything that he made, he's looking at what he made, but he's looking at
You know what? That's
himself.
a brilliant observation. I never heard that before. Because when you see what someone does as an artist, what you see is a piece of themselves, don't you? They poured it in there, their heart, their vision, their soul. And so if we were to look at God and at creation, it tells us about God, right? Even the Bible says that. They shout about God.
Those little pieces of art, those mediums never communicate and never wonder what's going on in the mind of the artist.
That's right. But that's a brilliant observation, is that God, as much as we can understand, because he, obviously, how does he feel about creation?
Very good.
I'm gonna ask you that again. How does he feel about creation?
Very good.
All you can do is, what is God all about?
Life.
This being is about life. This being was doing everything. And I was telling you about the parent, in fact, the expectant parent idea. So, an expectant parent, when they get ready in, they are running around doing all this. For what reason? Why would an expectant parent run around and get a crib and paint a room and build it and change the whole house?
Excited about, well,
They're what? What do you mean by excited?
well, he's excited about what is about to be birthed from him.
In other words, when you say excited, what do you mean?
Great anticipation.
Anticipation. So what do you mean by excited and anticipation?
He can't wait for it to happen.
He can't wait for it to happen. What do you mean by he can't wait for it to happen?
I'm trying to get to the root of the matter.
I am. Let me go back to the expectant parent. That'll help us flesh this in because it helps there. Why is the expectant parent doing all of this?
So that when the life comes, it can be sustained.
And so why are they doing that so the life can be sustained? What's the motivating factor? Love.
Okay.
Love is at the core. Love wants life for its beloved. So God is lover of life. Now, I didn't even touch on what happened with Jesus yet. That's in the future. So, when we start seeing God and all this is unfolding, in this wisdom, the way He lays out these things in creation, step by step, the order. There's also everything that comes into being. We saw the next thing that comes into being is the grass, right? The herbs of the field. And in those herbs, He does what? What does He place in those herbs?
Nutrients.
Nutrients, but seed. Why seed?
That's what life is.
Life starts there, so He is creating life, but He also wants life to continue. So He is building into the very creatures the ability to participate in life-giving. So in that, it tells you not only that He loves life, but He loves life to continue. And He builds right into the structure. So when a seed from a tree or a plant is producing fruit, and why fruit? What's fruit got to do with anything?
More seeds.
Creates more seeds, but it also does what? It feeds us, it's food. So it being, just being, and doing what it does, that God put into it, what is it giving? So the grass and the seed and spreading and growing and trees giving fruit is all about life. And God placed life within the life so that just by doing and being, it would participate in life. So you see, not only is God about life, but He's about life being a part of life.
And from all of that, what I keep hearing in my ear is that He never intended, it was never His intention to recreate.
What? Yes, but God is a wise God. He never intended to recreate. That is, recreate and having to go from scratch and start over. That's kind of the idea. But I said, yes, but we have a wise God who sees.
And he's the planner.
We see He's a planner, so He knows ahead what's going on. But He knows because He has the wisdom to even think about creating nutrients and how the nutrients react and how what the plants need to reproduce and the structures, all the things we're talking about. So this God doesn't miss a trick. That's a saying for some of you who don't know that. It means He not only understands, but He's got it all covered. So God created this grass, and the grass starts spreading, and it was so. Notice that you have this rhythm, and it was so. And God said this. And then what's another rhythm pattern repeated? It was good. Value judgments. And we see the way God sees. When we begin to see the way God sees, how are we forced to see creation? If we begin to see the way God sees, we begin to see creation as life and as good because it's a part of God and God is life giver. So life is good. Further, these repeated patterns say when God sees, we talk about seeing as perceiving and understanding and valuing. So when I see you guys, I see students, I see fellow learners, I see people who are striving to find their place in the world and life, and they're on their own journey. And yet God is with each one of you, and God treasures you more than you can ever even know. In fact, if we were to try to put a price on you, I would say there is no price. You're priceless. So when we start thinking about it, God valuing, when He sees the value of something, and ultimately when it gets down to His life, because He's the God of life, that means to understand something different is not to know the true God. It's to know a distortion. Remember, Genesis 1 and 2 is before everything got all screwed up.
Yep.
And if we're to ever know who we are, we have to know who God is. And you can begin to see why. I know people, when I run into them, they think God hates them. God cursing them. God is angry with them and ready to destroy them. Really? Is that what you believe? If you're going to believe what the Word says, you start to see something very different materialize. Foundationally. And we need to take a break here, and we'll pick up right there.